I was a little bit angry at the Lord.
Okay.
I was like resistant to letting you have these things. You have to make a choice in your marriage to be in your marriage all the time.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Full Story Testimonies. I want to start out with a big thank you. Thank you to my editor, Nicholas Hart. He's really good at what he does. Y'all hit him up if you need anything. And thank everybody who's took interest in this podcast, in this show, shared. Just trying to spread the word a little. And we've got a guest today by popular demand. We have our first female guest. Big thank you and a welcome to Mrs. Emily Ward. Mrs. Emily Ward, where, when, and how did you grow up? Who raised you?
I grew up right here in Scott County. We moved here when I was 5.
Okay.
I grew up with my mom and my dad.
Where'd you move from?
We lived in Jacksboro, out on a farm, with my mama and papa lived there, my dad's side of the family.
Okay.
And his oldest sister and her husband. So, we moved here. My dad and my papa helped build our house. Well, I've lived there my whole life till I got married.
Yeah.
And, so that was, we lived right here. We've never left.
Yeah.
So.
What kind of farm did you grow up on?
Well, I don't remember.
Okay.
Because it was like years 0 to 5. But at one point, my dad and my grandfather had cows.
Okay.
So it was in my blood.
Right.
And then my papa was in bad health for a while there, and they sold all their cows and they just cut hay.
Yeah.
And before my papa got saved, they did tobacco. But
Okay.
after he got saved, he felt like that was wrong, so he stopped growing tobacco.
Yeah.
So.
All right. And so, how old were you when your papa got saved? Do you remember?
No, that was long before my dad was. My dad was young. He was probably 10 or less.
Okay.
So,
how about your dad? Does he have a testimony?
he does.
Okay.
Yeah. He watched my papa get saved. There was a preacher man in their community who would meet with my papa every day, and witness to him.
Yeah.
And, he got saved one day, and then the Lord called him to preach, and my papa pastored a bunch of churches. I couldn't tell them all to you, in the Campbell County community.
Right.
And then my dad got saved after him and my mom got married.
Okay.
So he was an adult.
Yeah.
So
has church always been a part of your life, or has God always been a part of your life?
Yep.
Okay.
As long as I've been alive, I remember we went to church on Sunday morning and Sunday night.
Yep.
So that's where, there was never a question like where we were going on Sunday morning. We were going to church.
Yeah.
So.
All right. And so so you started out in Jacksboro.
Mm-hmm.
Moved here at age 5.
Mm-hmm.
So what was teenage years like for Emily Ward? And here's the thing, like we went to school together. You was a grade above me, right? Ever since I was in pre-K or kindergarten. And our paths didn't cross a lot. So that's probably a good thing for you. Says a lot of good things. But
teenage years were pretty mild.
Okay.
I got saved when I was 7.
Yeah.
So I had a good little foundation there.
Yeah.
But I wasn't really doing anything. I wasn't doing anything really wrong, I guess you could say. I wasn't partying or anything like that. Or, hanging out with the bad crowd. But I really wasn't doing anything for the Lord either. It's kind of in the middle.
Right.
Just neutral.
Yeah.
For a long time. Till about 20. And so I graduated. I went to school. I was 2 hours away from home. I felt like I had all this freedom.
Yeah.
Because I was like, nobody's watching me. I can make all my own decisions, which is good. You need to learn how to do that, but it's also dangerous.
Yeah.
So, my freshman year of college was fine. And I went to a Christian college.
Yeah.
So, and I played golf, so I was really busy.
Right.
So I didn't have time to be, like, doing anything real crazy.
Yeah.
And then, let's see, was it the summer? It would have been my junior year, like the summer prior.
Okay.
I started to, like, experiment, test the waters, and I was like, what could we do? Like, what could we do that we've never done?
Okay.
And, which is, like, a weird place to be if you're saved, because it's like, what do you really want to do?
You hit the crossroads. I can go this way or I can go this way.
Yeah.
I got you.
It's like you can either be on fire for the Lord or you can, like, walk opposite to the Lord.
Yeah.
So for a while I did that. I walked opposite to the Lord.
Mm-hmm.
And I was in a really bad relationship. Like, nothing bad. Like, I wasn't, being abused or anything like that. But
right.
I was dating somebody who was not a believer.
Yep.
And who did not, like, want to be on the same path where I wanted to be. Like, I wanted to graduate, I wanted to get married, I wanted to have, like, a job and a house and a family. And I, like, got to this point where I had been partying, like, drinking, smoking, everything.
Right.
And I was like, what am I doing? And I had graduated. The guy that I was dating was a year behind me. So he was still in school, and I was still, like, going, like, I would roll up to church on Sunday mornings hungover.
Yeah.
And, like, nobody knew. As far as I know.
Yeah.
I'm sure my mom and dad probably knew. And they know now.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, what am I doing? Like, what's the point of this? That's where I got. And I remember Christmas of 2020, I stayed home. My boyfriend at the time went to his home. And I was just like, and, like, the Lord started dealing with me.
Yeah.
We had that revival with Brother McBride.
Yep.
And, like, you can't escape Brother McBride's preaching.
No.
Like, he's so good.
Yeah.
And I was just like, what am I doing? Like, and I started listening at church for the first time in months. And I was like, okay. And I just started praying to the Lord. I was like, Lord, if there's somebody in my life that's not leading me where you want me to go, remove them.
Tough prayer to pray, ain't it?
Super scary.
Yeah.
And people just started dropping out like flies. Like, and I don't mean, like, nobody died, but,
right.
like, one by one, like, relationships would get strained, like, other friendships I had, and then all of a sudden it was like, okay, you've got one to go.
Yep.
And, of course, it's the hardest one.
Yeah.
Because, like, and I don't want to diminish, like, you've been in a relationship with somebody for this time, and you care about them.
Yep.
But, like, that's not the person God had for me.
Okay.
And, like, I had convinced myself otherwise.
Everything's fine.
Yeah.
You can tell yourself that.
Oh, yeah.
For so long.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. And, like, that's why I really resonated with Eric's testimony, because I was like, that was me. Like,
okay.
I was saved. I knew what was right. And I was out here not living that for so long. And the Lord said to me, like, you gotta make a change. Like, something's gotta give. And I had made this idea of, like, getting married and having a family, like, my idol. Like, that was what I wanted.
Yeah.
And I remember I was working in La Follette, so I was driving to work every day. Mm-hmm. And for some reason, I turned on my gospel music. And I was driving to work, and I was like, but Lord, we're going to get married. Like, this is the guy.
Yeah.
And I literally remember the Lord saying, no, Emily. And I was like, what? And I was like, but I've poured, like, all this time and effort into this.
Yep.
And, like, literally praise the Lord that was not it. Because I'd have been miserable. Because I wasn't living for Jesus. And so that was in January or February of 2021.
Okay.
So I'm an adult by that point. I'm like 22, 23 years old. Like I have some sense and I need to act like it. And my mom helped me through a lot of it. Like I never want to diminish what she has done in my life. Like she is a wonderful woman. You would never know like just how wonderful she is unless you know her.
Let's talk about. We talked about your dad and your papa. Let's talk about your mom.
So, my mom is like the most wonderful person. She was my best friend.
Yeah.
And still is to this day. Like I talk to her every day. And so I never knew this growing up, but every night before bed she would read her Bible every night. And I don't know what she was reading, but she would read her Bible and then she would pray. And I never saw that growing up. Like I didn't observe her doing that till I was older.
Yeah.
And I was like, wow, like this is real for my mom. Like she's like, she really is like practicing what she preaches.
Okay.
And she is not gonna beat you over the head with what she believes. She's not gonna like make you feel bad about it, but she's gonna tell you when something's wrong.
Yeah. And
so I had hid a lot of things in that time of my life because I was like, I knew that I wasn't doing right.
Yeah.
And so
you grew up knowing
what was right.
Age.
Yeah. And knowing what not to do. And I knew that I was doing all those things in the what not to do category.
Right.
So I was like, God, I don't want to tell my mom. Like, she's the last person I want to know. Yeah. But she started to see some of it. And so I was like, well, at that point, I can't tell her. Like, I can't deny it. Like, she's seen it. Yeah. And so that was hard for me because, like, it put a wedge between us. Because, like, I didn't want my mom to see that.
Almost made you want to not be probably around her.
Yeah. But I was, like, I had graduated, and this was the middle of COVID, so, like, where was I going to go? I moved back home. Yeah. Which is probably the best thing that could have happened. And, because then I was there with my mom every day. And, like, she would call me out, and she'd be like, hey, Emily, he probably shouldn't say that to you. Or, like, why are you putting up with that? And so she would, like, just subtly, like, you know, call stuff. Yeah. And it was probably the best thing ever because that's what I needed to hear. Like, it really sucked in the moment, and I was just like, this is the worst. Like, why would she say that? Why can't she just support me? That's what I thought. But I was like, actually, she's, like, trying to tell me what the Lord is trying to tell me, and I don't want to listen to him. Yeah. So maybe I'll listen to her. She was
your discernment at the time, wasn't she?
Yeah, she was.
Gotcha.
And she has been, like, my whole life. She's been consistent on that.
Go her?
Yeah, go Vonda.
Yeah.
She'd probably die if she knew we were talking about her.
Yeah,
she'll know.
Yeah, she probably won't know. Probably.
But it was great because she would, like, she wasn't mean about it. Like, she was never hateful about it. She was never rude about it.
Yeah.
She was just, like, she wanted what was best for me, like, ultimately, as my mom.
Yeah.
But then she also saw that I wasn't where I needed to be with the Lord. So she wanted to remind me of that, too.
Okay.
So, that was super helpful. Mm-hmm. And then, it was probably April of 2021 that relationship finally ended.
Yep.
And I remember Brother Dave preached a message on Mother's Day that year. And, like, the only time I have felt more convicted was when I was getting saved.
Yeah.
Like, I felt so convicted because you, like, if you're a saved person and you, like, I don't want to say, like, wander off from the Lord, but, like, you make decisions that put your relationship with the Lord in a strained place. Mm-hmm. When you do that, like, you want to turn that guilt feeling off.
Yeah.
And like Eric said, like, I had been doing that. Mm-hmm. Like, I done whatever it took to turn that off because I was like, I don't want to feel like I have disappointed the Lord.
Right.
But, like, I did. And so Brother Dave preached a message on Mother's Day, and it stuck with me after that because I literally felt so convicted. And he talked about, as a woman, you should not let any man other than the Lord Jesus Christ define how you're treated, what your worth is, and, like, the course of your life. And I was like, okay.
That's good.
It hurt.
Right.
Like, in a good way.
Yeah.
And I was like, whew, okay. And I'm telling you, like, that was the message for me that, like, the switch flipped and, like, the lights came back on.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, we have to do, like, we're not just gonna sit around and waste the rest of our life.
Look at that timing.
I know.
Look at that. They dropped off one by one.
Mm-hmm.
And then you had one left. That was your past relationship. And it failed. And it was you and God.
It was just me and the Lord.
It was you and the Lord. And then that message came.
Mm-hmm.
Felt like it was directly for you.
Yeah, it did.
Look at God.
I know.
Yeah.
And so from then on, I was just like, okay, whatever the Lord asks, we're going to say yes. And you thought,
That's a Dave Barnhouse mentality.
yeah.
Yep.
And I was like, you thought asking the Lord to remove people out of your life was scary? Like, just tell the Lord, okay, Lord, I'm going to say yes. Tell him that.
Mm-hmm.
And so I don't remember from then how long it was, but I told Brother Dave, I was like, he preached some message not long after that, and I can't remember the message. Oh yeah, I do. Okay. He was talking about Matthew chapter 6, where the Lord is talking about lay up for yourself treasures in heaven.
Yep.
And I was like, I don't know that I have any treasures in heaven. Like, I've been so wrapped up in all these worldly things and, like, accomplishing these goals that everybody else has. Mm-hmm. I don't know that I've done anything for the Lord. And I'm, like, 23 years old at this point. And I'm like, I've been saved for a long time. And I've not done anything for the Lord. And so that message, I don't know how long after Mother's Day that message was, but I was like, that was the message where I was like, I need to go to Africa.
Okay.
And I had already been twice since then. So I went the first time in 2019. That was the first time I went.
Okay. In
May of 2019.
Yep.
And then we went again in May of 2021. Post Mother's Day message, but in between feeling like I needed to go for a long time. Mm-hmm. So Brother Dave preached about that, and I was like, I need to go. That's what I need to do. That's where the Lord wants me to go. And I was like, and everybody was like, Emily, why do you feel like you need to do that? And I was like, I don't know.
You going for the normal 2 weeks at this point?
No, at this point, I was like, we need to go and we need to stay a while. And I didn't have, like, just me and the Lord.
That's the we.
Yeah, that's the we.
Yeah.
And I didn't have a time frame. Like, the Lord just said, you need to go. Mm-hmm. And I think part of that was, you need to go and you need to not be distracted.
Yeah.
And you need to you need to have intentional time to work on the relationship that I wanted to have with the Lord. Because at that point, I was like, I want to be able to do these things. Like, I want to do these ministry things, but I can't because, like, I wasn't there. Like, I wasn't reading my Bible. You know, it had dust on it.
Right.
I'd just come out of a season of sin. And so, probably 2 weeks later, after I told Brother Dave I wanted to go back to Africa, the Lord told me, we're going to stay for a year. And I was like, I don't know about that, Lord. I was like, that's a little scary. And it was, like, it's terrifying because it's like, you just you and the Lord,
Mm-hmm.
are going to go somewhere else.
Was Brother Nathan Riddick, was he over in Africa at the time?
He was not there yet, but he was getting ready to go. So I moved.
It was literally going to be you and the Lord.
I moved with Brother Nathan and his
Yeah.
family.
Mm-hmm.
So we left in February of 2023. Or no, 2022. And I moved with Nathan and Eileen and
Yep.
their kids.
Great people.
And I had only met them like 2 other times before this.
Yep.
So it's kind of like moving in with strangers.
Yeah.
In another country. But like I had people in Africa. Like I'd been twice.
Right.
So it wasn't like I was moving somewhere that I didn't know anybody.
Mm-hmm.
But it was so scary.
Can I chase a rabbit real quick?
Mm-hmm.
When you went to Africa, did you go to the lake?
I did the second time I went.
Wild stuff over there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wild.
Okay.
Beautiful though.
Anyway, what did that do to your heart? To your walk with God?
For the first time in my life, I read my Bible every day.
Okay.
And this is from somebody who had been saved at the age of 7. I had never read my Bible. Like, I did not do that growing up.
Okay.
I didn't, like at church, I would read my Bible. I didn't know what it said. I could quote you some verses that my dad had quoted to me growing up.
Yeah.
But, like, I didn't know where they were at.
Right.
I didn't know what it said. And so I bought one of those year in the Bible studies that takes you through the whole Bible in a year.
At what point was this?
This was before we left. I was going to
Okay.
take it with me.
Okay.
So I took that with me,
Mm-hmm.
and I worked through a lot of the Old Testament, which is a lot.
Yeah.
That's some deep waters.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember thinking, I don't even know what's in the Bible. Like, I believe in Jesus. I've accepted him as my savior. And then what? Like, I don't know what the next step is for everybody after they take that step. But like for me, it was not, okay, let me read the Bible and see what it says. So it took me a while to get there, but it was really good when I did get there, because I think I was like in the right place to understand a lot of things that I wouldn't have otherwise understood without that life experience.
Yeah.
So we moved to Africa in February of 2022. It was crazy. And like, if you do that, like, I think the way that it worked out for me to move with Nathan and Eileen was like the best way it could have worked out.
Okay.
Because Eileen became like a friend and a mentor to me. Like, I would see her every morning. She would get up. She homeschooled her kids. She would get them situated with their school, and then she would sneak off to herself, and she would have her time with the Lord.
Yeah.
Like, she would read her Bible. She would drink her coffee. And I'm like, why does she do that every day? Like, why is that so important to her? And that's when it started to make sense to me, because I was like, okay, that is your time where you and the Lord can hang out. Like, that's your hanging out time with the Lord.
Yeah.
Like, if you're not sitting down with him every day and saying, hey, Lord, here's what happened in my day. You know, it's that easy. Like, you just have to say, here's what's going on. You know, it doesn't have to be some big elaborate, like...
You can talk to him just like your buddy.
Yeah.
Like your friend.
Yes. That's what you want. That's what he wants you to do. And so I would watch Eileen do that. And I was like, you know what? I think I'm going to try that. And we had probably been there for probably a month. And I was like, I'm going to try that.
Mm-hmm.
And I moved into the big house with Nathan and Eileen. So, like, I was in one bedroom. And, like, Birdie was across the street.
Yeah.
Like, across the hall. Yeah. So, like, I was there, enmeshed with their life every day. Mm-hmm. And I was like, I'm going to try that. Like, I'm gonna get up in the morning, take a shower, do whatever I need to do, and then I'm gonna sneak off by myself, just me and the Lord. And, like, hello, do you really think that's gonna be bad? That's what I thought. I was like, it can't be bad, right?
Right.
And it wasn't. Like, it was the best thing ever. Mm-hmm. And I started with that Bible study, and it starts in Genesis. And it's like several passages that you read every day, because you're trying to get through it all in a year,
right?
Realistically. And so I would just read, and then I would read the Bible study, and then it has like questions that you can answer. And that was like the first time I had ever like really thought about it, like while you're reading the Bible. So I feel like it was really good because it prompts you to think about things.
Okay.
And like, you hear those stories growing up in Sunday school. You're like, the ark and the children of Israel leaving Egypt, and you're like, okay, yeah, I know all that stuff. But then you don't know all the stuff that comes next, like the 10 Commandments and like all those things, like, because you hear the Sunday school version.
Yeah.
Like the Reader's Digest version, I guess. And it's like, actually, the Lord had so much more in there. Like, you missed a lot of the other stuff.
You missed the whole old law and
yeah.
what we would be living under if it wasn't for Jesus.
Right.
Yeah.
And it was like, actually, there's a lot of stuff in there that, like, points you to Jesus. Like,
yeah.
He's in there.
Even in Genesis.
Yeah.
Yep.
Like, Jesus ain't just in, like, this half of the Bible over here. He's over here, too.
Yeah.
So, that was really cool. And, like, this was the Bible that I had with me in Africa. Okay. I've had this Bible for 10 years, okay? It's got my maiden name on it.
Yeah.
I got this when I graduated high school from the church that we were going to. We were going to Paint Rock at that time.
Yeah.
And so that's where this Bible came from. And that's just the Bible that I carry to church. And so I just thought it was really cool. Like, I was reading stuff I had never read before.
Yeah.
And so in May of that year in Africa, Brother Dave came, and my dad and my now husband, which is cool.
Yeah.
And like, this is the coolest story ever. And like,
is that where you met him?
No.
Okay.
Zach and I met at work. I was working a construction job when I first graduated college because it was 2020.
Right.
Nobody was hiring. So we met at work, and we went out, and like the rest was history. There was not anybody else after that.
Okay.
Because like, I mean, he's just a good guy.
Oh yeah.
Like, so in May they came to visit, and like a whole group come with them. Like, it wasn't just Brother Dave, my dad, and Zach. Right. There was other people with them, and like that would happen, Brother Dave would bring a group, and they would visit, and you would meet all these people, and they were really nice, and like everybody's on their own, like everybody's taking a mission trip for their own reasons. And if you haven't taken one ever, I think you should.
Yep, I agree.
Because it's gonna, one, open your eyes to a different world of people that you probably would not otherwise know. And then, like, it's really cool to see the Lord doing things in other parts of the world with different resources. Like, yeah. In Zambia, there's nothing. Like, we had a car, we had electricity, we had running water. But, like, we don't have McDonald's.
Right.
We didn't have Taco Bell.
Right. And then over in the lake, you see what I always explain to people is a Circle K would change their life.
Yeah.
A place where they could, I mean, even just like that little pharmacy section that we just breeze right by every day, don't think nothing of it. You got Tylenol, Zyrtec. I mean, that stuff would save people's lives. So
yeah.
Like, they have nothing.
Right. And like, you're in a place where you have to rely on the Lord.
Yeah.
Like, it's just you and the Lord.
Yeah.
And so they came and visited. Everybody else in that group, most of the other people in that group were from our church.
Okay.
Cassidy, Drew, I can't remember who else came with them. Eric, Hendrix,
Okay.
who has been to our church, who is now in Zambia. He came on that trip. Love Eric to death. He's a hoot.
Yeah.
And I like really related with Eric because he's like, listen, I'm not like, he just is who he is. Like, he's not trying to be, he's not trying to make his walk with the Lord look perfect.
Right.
And so they came. Everybody else went to the lake except my dad and Zach. Zach don't like boats or water.
Really?
Yes. So that was a no-go. Which was fine. Like, we all just hung out, and like they got to see the ministries that Nathan was doing. Like, so we would go out twice a week to these churches in these remote areas of the bush, like more remote than we already were. And we would have a feeding program. And Eileen would do a Bible study with the kids. And then while she was doing that, we would cook. And when they got done, we would have a meal ready for them.
What would you cook?
Oh my gosh, we cooked the best stuff. We had these sausages. I still think about those to this day. They're so good. And we would have sausages sometimes and rice. And then we would have like a little soup, which is not like... This is not like American soup. This is like...
What's the word for it? There's a word for it. Starts with an M. Musha.
In Shima.
Shima, that's
is
what I'm
what
trying to
they
think
had.
of. Yeah.
That's like that. It's like cornmeal.
Yeah.
It's like the same stuff you would use to make cornbread, but instead of mixing it with milk, you mix it with water. Mm-hmm. And you just cook it, like you just boil it in a pot instead of like baking it in the oven.
Yep.
And so we would have Shima sometimes, and sometimes we would have rice, because we could get it in a big 10-pound bag. And we would have rice and chicken, or sausages and Shima, and like a soup, which is kind of like a dipping sauce.
Okay.
But it was really good. Mm-hmm. It was like tomatoes and onions and water. And you would like cook it a really long time. And like you would dip the Shima in the soup and then eat the sausage.
Okay.
And it was so good.
Yeah.
And
Nathan can cook now.
Yes, Nathan can cook.
Oh yeah.
And the guys at the farm who were in the Bible school there would come and help us. So we had like extra hands.
Yeah. And
we would do that twice a week at these two churches. And like one of them was probably an hour or so drive from the farm. So like you would leave the farm and go back towards the road, and then when you got to the main road you would go left.
Okay.
And you would just drive
further into the bush.
Yeah. And then there was another one that was further away, and you would drive till the asphalt ended and then drive like 30 more minutes.
Okay.
So it was way out there.
Yeah.
It was probably like 2 hours it took us to get there. But that hooked us up with all these other pastors.
Yeah.
And like the people in their church. So then like if they had needs, they had somebody to call. Like they would call us like if they had a death. Or like if somebody in their church needed like to go to the doctor or something. So that was really cool because it's like networking for Jesus.
Yeah.
So you get like all these contacts through this one thing that the Lord gave you to do. Which opens doors for you to be able to do more. Mm-hmm. So that was just cool because then it was like, well, we can do all this with like, we can do so much more with just what we've started doing. So I think Nathan now is doing like one of those. I think he has 4 places that he goes now. And it might be more. I might be telling you wrong. But it was just cool to watch that.
Yeah.
And then I had Eileen, who I was watching, and she probably doesn't even know that I was like looking up to her. Like, as a woman of the Lord, I was watching her example. And she was being influential in my life.
She was your Ruth.
Yeah, kinda.
Yeah.
And I wanted to go where she went.
Yeah.
And I wanted to live in line with what the Lord wanted me to do, like I watched her do.
Yeah.
And like I had women in my life before that. Like my mom, my grandma, like my dad's mom. She was a hoot. And she was never serious all the time. And she really wanted to be in your business. But she really loved the Lord.
Yeah.
And, like, my whole life, she would send me a birthday card every year. And she would write in the notes. She'd be like, verses that she had read. And she'd be like, I read this. Don't forget. Follow the Lord. Trust the Lord. He'll take you where you want to go. And, like, so the Lord had been preparing me this whole time. I just didn't know what we were preparing for.
Yeah.
And so, May, my dad and Zach come to visit. Me and Zach get engaged. I was not expecting that. I just want the record to reflect.
In Africa?
Yes. And we had talked about it. I was like, listen, don't you dare come here and propose. Because, like, I got months left to go. And he did. And it was fine. Like, no big deal.
Well, tell us the story. How'd he do it? Where at?
In Nathan's house, I had my fuzzy slippers on. I was in my pajamas. And, I didn't know. Like, I didn't know he was planning that. I don't think he was planning that. I think him and Nathan talked about it. And Nathan was like, I mean, you're here, you might as well. And he hollered at me. And he was like, hey, come here. Like, I need your help with something. And I was like, oh, okay. And I was fully in my pajamas.
Yep.
Fuzzy slippers on. Come down the hallway, and he's, like, on one knee in the kitchen. And Nathan is above us recording what's happening. And I was like, I literally looked at him, and I was like, are you joking? I was like, am I being punked?
You waiting for the cameras?
Yeah. And I think he thought I was going to say no. Because I was like, are we being for real? But he was being for real.
Yeah.
And obviously we ended up married. So everything worked out there.
Right.
But then that was like 2 days before they left. So, like, I'm really happy. And then in 2 days, I'm really sad because they're gone.
That's what Nathan talked about a lot. Is like, man, this is awesome. We get all these people in. We love on them. We treat them like family. We become a family. And then
they leave. Yeah.
And we stay here.
Yeah.
And it's quiet. And we're in the bush. And he said, you know, like, we're 24 hours from home. And so that was your newly fiance.
Yes. And I mean, Nathan's right. It was quiet after that.
Yeah.
Like, it's really, really busy when there's people there. And then when there's not people there, it's just your life. Like, I mean, you're just living like you are here. Like, you know, we get up, we go to work, we come home, we eat dinner, we go to bed. Except there, we get up, we get all of our stuff ready, we go serve the Lord. Which is tiring when you're in something like that because you're working. I mean, you're preparing a meal for 200 kids.
Yeah.
Like, and then you're there most of the day, and you get done, and you come home, and you're like, oh, all right. And so it was a while before we had other people come and visit. I think it was August.
Okay.
And so it was pretty quiet.
Quiet, but at the same time, a lot of God.
Yeah. And it gives you time to be with the Lord.
Yeah.
You know, you're relying on Him, and you're saying, all right, Lord, what are we doing today?
Literally.
Yeah. And I started teaching a class.
Okay.
At the school, or the Bible Institute, for the young guys that were there learning to be pastors. So I have an English degree. So I did not want to be a teacher. When I decided to major in English, I was like, I don't want to be a teacher. Because I really didn't care for kids. And I was like, I don't want to be a teacher, but I taught them English because they were having trouble understanding some stuff in the Bible because they don't know what, like, English words mean.
Okay.
And English is hard.
Let me ask you something. How did you go from, I don't care much for kids, to, I'm going to feed 200 kids a day?
Well, it wasn't me. It wasn't me. It was the Lord.
Yeah.
I think when you tell the Lord, like, hey, Lord, I don't like this, the Lord says, all right, well, let me change your mind. Let me show you a new angle.
Yeah.
So, and like, that was my thing. I was like, I don't want to do a kids ministry. Like, that was what I said. I was like, I don't want to do a kids ministry. Okay. I don't want to teach a Sunday school class. And like, that's what I said to the Lord. I was like, I don't want to do these things. And the Lord was like, okay, well, what do you want to do? Like, he's like, I give you an open door. He was like, just pick something. So I started helping the guys with English.
Grown-ups.
Yes, adults.
Yeah.
Like young men, like in their early 20s.
Right.
And they want to be pastors. Like, they want to be assigned to a bush church and that be their home, and like, they want to serve the Lord.
Yeah.
But like, English is a hard language if it's not your first language. It's hard for me, and I am an English speaker. But I had this background where I knew like what words meant in the context of sentences, because like, my brain was wired that way because that's what I studied.
Yeah.
So I did that for a long time, and I really enjoyed that, because we would do, every class we would start with, like, what words did you read this week in your Bible text, in your study material that you didn't understand?
Yeah.
And we'll define them. Like, we'll look up a definition for those words. And so we would start with that, and then that would lead us to, like, how are we using these words in a sentence? And what do they mean in the context of these sentences? So, like, it was really scratching an itch in my brain for me, because that's what I liked.
And it also got you in your Bible more.
Yeah.
I suppose it would.
Well, yeah, and it did, because it was, like, you had to be... Brother Dave said one time when he was preaching, he was like, you want to live right the closer you get to Sunday, because you're like, I don't want to have to carry all these burdens with me to church on Sunday morning. So, like, it kept me there. Like, it kept me in my Bible, praying like I needed to be, studying, because I was like, I want to be able to help these guys do what the Lord has for them to do. So, like, you had to be disciplined about it.
It kept you sharp all the way around.
Mm-hmm.
Mentally.
Yeah.
Spiritually.
Yep. And it was like an accountability. And I never had, like, accountability before.
Okay.
So, and then I'm also, like, responsible for being a help to Nathan and Eileen. Like, I don't want to be a burden to them. Like, I don't want to hinder what they're doing with the Lord. So then I really got to be, you really have to be where you need to be with the Lord to be serving the Lord, because, like, you don't want to be a hindrance to the other people who are putting in the work, like, putting in the Bible reading time, praying, doing what they need to be doing. You don't want to be a hindrance to that.
Can I ask you a complicated question?
Sure.
And if you don't want to answer, you don't have to. We can edit this out. How did you pay for the time in Africa?
A lot of people from our church paid for my time in Africa.
No kidding.
Your dad being one of them.
Yeah.
And I was really nervous about that. Like, when I went, I was like, Brother Dave, how are we gonna do this? Yeah. And like, I don't require a lot of things to live. And when I was in Africa, I really required less. Right. So I stocked up on things I knew I would want. Like, I'm a girl. I have a skincare routine. Okay. So I stocked up on those things before I left. And I worked till probably January of leaving.
Yeah.
And so I had a paycheck. I had income. So I did not do anything with the finances. The Lord provided that. And
look at God.
I know. And Brother Dave always says God doesn't have money problems, and he don't. I mean, Emily might, but the Lord the Lord don't. And so but yeah, there was a lot of people in our church that sent me money, and like, I put my mom in charge of everything. Like, here, like, people would just give money, and, like, my mom would get it, and, like, she would just put it in my bank account.
Yeah.
And then if I needed it, I could get it out.
See, things are expensive in Africa.
Yeah.
Like, so there would be, like, 3 men in a boat. They'd be gone for 3 or 4 days fishing. And they'd make, like, $50 a day.
Mm-hmm.
I thought, wonder if I can make it on $50 a day. Then we go to the store, and a can of Pringles is like $50.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can't
And
buy...
Quacha, I mean, you know.
Yeah, you can't buy your American food.
No.
You gotta live not on your American food.
How long did it take your stomach to adjust? Did it ever?
Yeah, it did. And, like, when I came home, it was hard. Because, like,
Yeah.
you're eating... Like, we would go to the farmer's market. And there was a lady there who, was from South Africa. And she would raise her own meat.
Yeah.
So we would buy meat from her, not at the store. Because, like, at the store, it's kind of questionable.
Yeah, at the market that I went to, it was all outside. No
Yeah.
plugs on all of them.
Yeah, this is like they have like a grocery store. It's kind of like a Save-A-Lot.
Okay.
They don't have everything you need, but they have a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
But, like, sometimes the power goes out.
Yep.
Okay? It goes out at the grocery store, too. Okay? So, I don't know what they got for backups for the meat section. But, like, sometimes you would go in there after a day of having brownouts, and, like, it would smell a little funny.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Anyway, we would eat meat from that lady, and it was good. Like, we would have pork chops and, but that, like, you had to cook. Like, we wasn't going to McDonald's.
Yeah.
So it was a whole different ball game, and you could live on $50 a day in Zambia.
Okay.
You just don't buy Pringles.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
I will say the hardest thing was not having Dr. Pepper.
Okay. But
Cause
you had Coke, right?
we had Coke.
Yeah.
I don't like Coke.
Really?
But we had Sprite.
Yeah.
So I would have Sprite. And the Sprite even tastes different.
They use real sugar.
Yeah.
And see, I remember everybody told me, was like, man, you're going to need to pack some snacks, bring you some jerky, bring you some Cliff Bars. And I didn't bring nothing. I thought, you know what? I'm going with these people. They're going to be my people. What they going to eat, I'm going to eat. Mm-hmm. And then everybody told me, said, you will die if you do that.
No, we won't let you die.
Okay.
But, like, we would have, we raised our own chickens. Like,
Yep.
we raised some meat chickens. I did not help with the butchering process. But we ate them. They were good. And we used a lot of that for, like, the food ministries that we were doing, too.
We, when I was there, we went out, and I say I didn't do a lot, really, but we, collectively as a group, we killed chickens right there. Mm-hmm. Cooked the chicken right there. Made them some shima right there. Mm-hmm. And it kind of grossed me out to look at. Mm-hmm. That's how they like to cook it. Mm-hmm. We boiled the chicken for them.
Yep. Yeah. And Pastor Ackham's wife, Miss Vivian, she is an excellent cook. Woman. She's wonderful.
Yeah.
She's awesome. I love her. I love Pastor Ackham and his whole family.
Yeah.
And but one of the last meals I ate in Africa was at their house, and she cooked. Miss Vivian loves chicken feet. So when we butchered all those chickens, we saved her all the feet. I don't know how she cooks them, but she likes them. Mm-hmm. But she cooked at her house, and we had chicken, rice, shima. She made some kind of soup. So the idea is you put the soup on the rice, or you dip the shima in the soup, because it makes it taste better. That was the best meal I've ever had. Like, I still think about that meal regularly. Yeah. But, like, we had good people that taught us what we needed to know. Like, Nathan's a good cook.
Oh, yeah.
And so is Eileen. And, like, I learned how to cook in a cast iron skillet. Like, we had a stove. We had a skillet. Like, I mean, you could cook anything. We had eggs. So, like, we wasn't going to starve.
Yeah.
But it took a while. And then in August, Eileen had started having a health problem. Like, nothing serious. But she was like, I'm going to go to South Africa to see a doctor. And her and Nathan were like, would you go with her? And I was like, yeah. Like, in a heartbeat, yeah. Because, like, this is my family at this point.
Yeah.
These are my people.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, absolutely. And we were going to take Susanna, their youngest daughter, with us.
Okay.
And now, listen, Susanna hates people. She did when I was there. She's way more people-friendly now. And so I was like, this is going to be a mess because, like, Susanna hates me. And we got to the airport, and I've handed the guy my papers, and he's looking at them a long time. And I'm like, something bad is happening. And, like, I didn't have, like, you know, like, when you go into a situation and you're like, this is a situation I shouldn't be in, and you feel, like, in your spirit, you feel funny.
Feel like I messed up? Oh, no.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
I didn't feel that way when we went to the airport that day.
Okay.
So, we get to the airport. I hand the guy my papers. He's looking at them a long time, and he goes, you can't come back to Zambia if you get on this plane. And I was like, what? And he was like, your visa is expired. A lot.
Oh.
And he was like, if you go to he was like, you can go to South Africa, but you can't come back to Zambia. And I was like, and mind you, this is in August, okay? I was supposed to come home in December.
Yeah.
So I've got 6 months left. I'm like, okay, Lord, what are we doing? What's the plan? And I look at Nathan, and I look at Eileen, and I was like, I can't, like, what are we going to do? And, like, I was so terrified, because I was like, this was not the plan.
Yeah, and from what I hear, South Africa can be a not so safe place for a white person.
Yeah. It's, I would say, safer than some other places, but
Right.
I was...
Like the Congo, maybe.
Yeah, probably don't go there.
Right.
But I was like, you know, I was a little bit angry at the Lord.
Okay.
Because I was like, I was supposed to be here for another however many months. And I was like, now you were telling me I have to go home? And so what happened was I had to buy before I could leave the airport. They would not let me leave. We had to call Acom. We had to call Brian. And I had to book a ticket home back to America.
Dang.
And they were like, and this was like on a Monday, and I left on Tuesday.
Yeah.
And it was like, you have to be on the next flight back to America.
That's what they told you?
Yeah. And so I had to pay a big fine. Actually, Nathan paid it. And when I got home, I paid him back.
Yeah. And so some people might not know this, but like Dave, he books this stuff months in advance to save a bunch of money.
Yes.
So you had to pay probably a lot of money.
We had to
on top of
pay
your fines.
$1,200 for the fine. That's American dollars, by the way. We had to pay, my plane ticket home was $1,900. And that was not including, that was just getting me from Zambia to Ethiopia to DC.
Yeah.
That was not from DC back to home.
So probably another $400 or $500.
I think it was $450.
Yeah.
And like I had to show them proof. Like I printed out the ticket right there at the airport. And they were like, you can go home, but we'll see you in the morning. And they did. They did see me in the morning. And I think I probably cried the whole way back to the farm. Because I was so disappointed. And I was mad. Like, I was so mad. And, like, when we got back to the farm, Acom had told everybody what was going on. All the guys had come to say goodbye. And I literally didn't do anything but cry for the rest of the day.
Yeah.
Because I was like, what's the point, Lord? Like, we ain't done.
There was so much more work for you to do
Yeah.
there, so you felt.
And I still don't really understand it all. I don't know if I'll ever understand it till I get to heaven and, like, the Lord can tell me what happened. But, like, there was some reason, I don't know. And, like, that was the hardest part, because I was like, none of this makes sense.
How close were you to going to jail in Zambia?
Oh, close. Like, Pastor Rackham came to the airport close.
Yeah.
Because he like, had to talk to the people.
You know, that's something I've noticed in my short time there. Anytime there was trouble, Akim found a way to get there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
He took care of things.
He's the best.
He is.
And it was like the day before this that I was eating at his house.
Yeah.
And he was like, Emily, everything's going to be okay. And I told Nathan on the way home, I was like, let's stop at Akim's house. I want to say goodbye to Vivian. John had come home. John is his oldest son.
Okay.
And
I didn't get to meet him.
I met John the first time I went. And so, like, I've known these people for, like, 3 years at this point. Like, this is my family.
Yeah.
And I told John, I was like, John, none of this makes any sense. And he was like, it doesn't, Emily, but I know it's going to be okay. And I was just like, oh, I could hit you for saying that. I'm like, oh.
Yeah.
And
you keep getting the same answer.
Yes.
And it ain't the answer you want.
No. And I was like, okay. And so I get back to the farm, and all the guys are there, and everybody's like, it's all going to be okay. Like, the Lord has a plan. And I'm like, stop saying that.
Until you can tell me what the plan is, I don't want to hear that answer.
And I think part of that was, like, I still had things in my life where I didn't want to give them to the Lord. Like, you know, like, you want to be in control of your life. You don't want to give it to the Lord.
Yeah.
And I still had things that I didn't want to give to the Lord.
Like what?
I didn't want to give him my relationship with Zach. And I was like, this is like our own little bubble. And
last time you said the prayer, this ain't the one, he was gone. Mm-hmm. Now here comes Zach. Mm-hmm. We love Zach. Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's a good dude.
He is a good guy.
Yeah.
He's a great man. But I was like, Lord, if I give this to you, we might have a repeat of what happened last time.
Yeah.
And I don't want that. I'm like 25 at this point. I was like, I don't want to start over. All my friends are married. And I'm behind. And I'm like, really? We're in Africa. We are in Africa with the Lord, and you're worried about that. But I was.
Right.
Because I didn't want to take this, like, you have this in your little hands. And you have to lay it down at the feet of Jesus. And you have to not pick it back up. And I'm a person, and I don't know about you, but I like to pick things back up.
I can't help it. We talked about this on my last podcast episode. And Joey Kaufman, he was like the only one that I've ever met that, and I believe him when he tells the stories. He's like, well, I just gave it to God. What do you mean? I just gave it to him.
Yeah.
Wholeheartedly, all at once. Never picked it. I just gave it to him. Like, man, I don't know how you do that.
I don't
I'm
either.
Happy for you. Right.
And I couldn't do it. Like, I couldn't. I was like, okay, Lord, I believe that you put people in people's lives for a reason. You put them there at the right time for a purpose. And I was like, all right. So I was coming home by myself. Mad.
Yeah.
Mad. And I think sometimes people have like a negative connotation with being mad at the Lord. And I think you can be angry with the Lord and still be obedient.
Right.
With what he wants you to do. So, like, you know, in the Bible it's like, be angry and sin not. You can be angry with the Lord because you're a human and you don't understand, and God is God. But you're not going to go out here and be angry and be rebellious. So, I walked a fine line with being rebellious because I was mad. And I came home. I called Zach from the airport before I ever went back to the farm, and I said, hey, I need you to take off work on Wednesday. And he's like, what's going on? And I was like, I need you to pick me up from the airport. I had called my mom. She couldn't get off work. And I was like, I need you to pick me up from the airport. And he was like, okay. He didn't ask what was going on. He just said, okay, I'll be there. And if you don't know my husband, he don't drive in Knoxville. Okay? So this was not like a small ask for him to make it to the airport. Like, I was like,
well, you told him you needed it.
Yeah.
Yep.
And so this was like, I think this was like things that had to happen so I knew that me and Zach were going to be okay. Like, if we got married, things were going to be all right.
You needed confirmation, reassurance.
Yeah. And I didn't, because, like, hello, the Lord put him there. Like.
Okay.
And.
So you were looking for.
I was looking for things, and the Lord had already answered it.
Yep.
But he was like, all right, Emily, I know. You're just a person. And I think the Lord does know. Like, the Lord knows that I don't know his plan.
He made us.
Yeah.
He understands emotions.
Yeah.
Yep.
And my aunt, my dad's oldest sister, she told me something that was so helpful when I got back home, because when I got back home, I was still mad. And she said, Emily, Jesus on the earth was in all points tempted like a man. Everything you've ever felt or been tempted with that you could ever imagine that would tempt somebody to sin, the Lord Jesus has felt that.
Yeah. Yeah. On the cross.
Mm-hmm.
Why hast thou forsaken me?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And in the wilderness when Satan tempted him.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, he knows how I feel.
Yeah.
He knows I'm mad. And I remember Brother Dave called me, and I was in Ethiopia at the airport, and I just got to my gate, and he called me, and he said, I want you to teach children's church when you come home. And I was like, Urgh. I was like, here we go with them dang kids again.
Them dang kids.
And, like, I was mad, so I was like, I don't want to do anything for the Lord right now.
Right.
And I said yes. I was like, okay. I was like, I'll do it. Whatever you need me to do, I'll do it. And he said, I want you to give your testimony at church about your time when you come home. And he said, you don't have to do it this Sunday. He said, but when you're ready. And I was like, okay. Okay. So, and I did. When the time was right, I did. And I wasn't angry anymore. Yeah. And I'm not angry now.
What made you not angry anymore?
I don't know. I think sometimes you just have to get over it. Like, you just have to get yourself out of the way and be like, listen, I may not never have the answers. Okay? Like, I may not ever know until I get to heaven. And I have to be okay with that.
Yeah. Tough pill to swallow.
Yeah. Not fun. No. I still have to swallow it sometimes.
Yeah.
But, like, that was where I was at. Like, there was no going back to Zambia that year. I could not go back for the next year. I couldn't. And I wanted to. And somebody had said to me, Emily, do you feel like that door is closed forever? I was like, no. I feel like I'm looking through a screen door and I can see the light at the end of the tunnel, but it's a little blurry.
Yeah.
Because, like, it was. Like, the door was closed and it was going to be closed for this amount of time. Because they wouldn't reissue me a new visa for a whole calendar year. So, like, if I wanted to, I couldn't have went back until after March of 2023.
Yeah.
So, I was like, okay, I just have to find something else to do. And I went to work at Boys and Girls Club. That's what I did. And, like, me and Zach are fully planning a wedding at this point.
Yeah.
And I'm like, here I am with these kids again.
Dang old kids.
I know.
Can't get away from them.
And I just think about, like, all the things you tell the Lord that you don't like to do. He's going to use those for you somehow. Because, like, the Bible tells you not to be mean to kids.
Yeah.
Like, it's in there.
Right.
And so I was like, well, I'm eating my own words here. And working at Boys and Girls Club was great.
Okay.
I loved those kids. I liked the people I worked with. And I felt like I was right back in Zambia. Like, you're just loving on kids.
Yeah.
Just different kids. And it really opened my eyes to, like, a minority group of people that need the Lord. Like, there's kids in our community that have witnessed more stuff than they ever should witness in their life. And they might not have nobody to love on them.
Yeah.
But you could be that person. Even if it's just for a little while.
Right.
And, like, that was one thing that I had to come to terms with, is, like, this might be a ministry for me, even if for a little while. And so I worked at Boys and Girls Club, I think, for 6 months. And then me and Zach were planning a wedding, and neither one of us had insurance. So I was praying hard. I was like, Lord, I was turning 26. I needed to not be kicked off my mom's insurance and have nothing.
Right.
And then I was like, I need a job. I need more money. I need. And I kept saying that to the Lord. I was like, Lord, I need this. And remember, we said the Lord does not have money problems. And so I took a job. And I'm not going to say where on the internet, because you can't talk about the government on the internet. But I worked for the state.
Okay.
I was a social worker, so I'll leave it at that. It was hard.
Yeah.
But, and I went for the interview. I didn't hear anything for a long time. Like, I went for the interview in, like, January. I didn't hear anything. Long space of time.
Okay.
Like a month. And usually when you go for a job interview, if you're going to get the job, they call you.
Yeah, you'll know within a week or two.
Yeah, I didn't hear nothing.
Yeah.
Crickets. And I was like, and this was the year we were getting married. We were getting married in June. So I was like, we got to get something squared away. Like, I'm telling the Lord, I was like, Lord, we got to get this done before June.
Yeah.
And the Lord's like, I got it. I'm working on it. Taking care of it. Do you trust me? And I'm like, nah. I just left Zambia. I didn't go to jail. No, I don't trust you, Lord, to provide for me. Like, how crazy is that? And so it was like a month later, and I get a phone call. I've already clocked in at Boys and Girls Club. Hadn't been there long. The kids hadn't got there yet. And I get a phone call, and it's this lady from the HR department. And she's like, hey, Emily, just touching base with you. I know you interviewed a little while ago. I wanted to offer you the job. The starting pay per month is $3,900.
Yeah.
I was like, holy cow. And she was like, think it over, talk to your husband about it, and let us know something, like, by the end of the week. I was like, okay, thanks. Mm-hmm. So I'm like, holy cow, like, $3,900 a month? I was like, that's wild. And then I was like, am I doing this for the money?
Okay.
And I went to the bathroom, and I was praying, and I was like, Lord, am I taking this job for the money? Like, am I taking this because it sounds good? And the Lord said, don't you think I care if you have enough And I just had to sit with that a minute, because, like, the Lord of Heaven is saying to me, don't you think I care about you enough? I've numbered all the hairs on your head. I know every thought. I know what you're worried about. He was like, don't you think I care? And I was like, okay, Lord. So that was like my confirmation. Then the lady calls me back and she goes, actually, they just upped the starting pay. It's actually going to be $4,200 a month. I was like, great, I'll take it. And I did. And it was awful. It was a really hard job.
Okay.
Because you had to, again, here I was with those kids. You had to sit with these kids who have been through, like, the worst imaginable things that nobody should have to go through.
Yeah.
And, like, they don't have anybody. They don't have anybody in their corner.
So what was your job? To find somebody to...
My job was to help them get back home. So either to mom and dad, or if mom and dad were not going to be an option, somebody to adopt them. Or like a family member. And it was really hard. Like, and it was hard for me because, like, these kids would tell me, like, that these people did stuff to them and then I wanted to kill people. And I was like, Emily, I was like, you can't feel that way. They need Jesus. But, like, ugh, it was bad. And, like, not everything was really bad. But, like, I had really good coworkers. And, like, it was the happiest time of my life, you know? I was getting married.
What made you... How did you cope instead of wanting to kill people?
I had a lot of long days where I vented to really good coworkers because I was like, this is wrong. Like, and I really think that the Lord put a lot of those coworkers in my life because he knew I would need people.
Yeah.
And, like, I had a village. And then I also had a husband. Mm-hmm. And probably about 3 or 4 months in, Zach sat me down one night and he said, we're not going to talk about work at home anymore. He was like, you're stressed. You're aggravated. You're taking it out on me. And he didn't deserve it. And he was like, we're not going to talk about work anymore. He was like, you can have like 10 minutes to tell me about your day. Yeah. And he was like, then we're not talking about work anymore at home. And we didn't. And that was helpful.
Yeah.
Because then I had to talk to the Lord about it. And I was like, okay, Lord, I want to rip this person's head from their body because they did this. Mm-hmm. But, like, and then the Lord would remind me, do they know me? And so, like, I felt like I was living 2 different lives. I had, like, social worker Emily, who really wanted to fight for these kids and really wanted to kill people. And then I had person Emily, who knew Jesus and knew that those people needed help that I couldn't give them. So I just had to pray about it. And we had a little girl who had, like, the worst story ever. And I had to sit with her one night. Like, kids that didn't have placement, we had to sit with them. And, like, around the clock. And we would take shifts. And I had to sit with her, and it was, like, the worst shift ever. Bar none. Still to this day.
Why was it the worst shift ever?
Because she had seen, like, unimaginable stuff. And she was 7. And she didn't know how to handle that. And, like, you couldn't, like, there was nothing I could do. Like, I had no training, to be able to help her. Like, I wasn't a therapist. And it was just so hard because, like, I'm like, this little girl just needs to be hugged. Like, but she didn't want anybody to touch her. She didn't even want you to look at her sideways. And I'm like, I remember leaving work that night, And I sat in my car and I was like, oh, Lord, what am I doing here? I was like, this is awful. I felt helpless. Because I'm like, there's nothing in your life that can prepare you for that.
Yeah.
And, like, she's screaming and crying and calling me every name in the book, and she's 7. But look at what she's had to live through at 7. And I came home that night, and I cried my eyes out. I was like, Lord, I don't know how to help her. I was like, I have no idea how to help her. I don't know what she needs. I don't even know where to start. And he was like, well, that's not your job to figure that out. And it wasn't. Like, so I think sometimes maybe I was just there to love on those kids. Because, like, they didn't have anybody else to.
Yeah.
But it was hard. Because some of them didn't want to be loved. Because the people that were supposed to love them were the people that hurt them. And
That's tough.
yeah. And so after that, I had a little bit of a perspective change. And it got better for a while.
Did you have a perspective change because you realized that just you loving on them was, number one, that may have been all you could do at the time, and number two, I mean, just a little bit of Jesus goes a long way, even in a dark situation.
Yeah, it does.
Yep.
And I think, like, the Lord commands us to love your neighbor as you love yourself. And I think that's the key there. Like, I really love myself. Like, I'm going to make sure I've got what I want, what I need, what I like, even. Like, love other people like that.
Mm-hmm.
And, like, sometimes all I could do was love those kids.
Yeah.
Sometimes all I could do was whisper a prayer for them while I'm in the middle of whatever fresh mess we're going through.
Mm-hmm.
And, like, that's their life for them. Like, it's a job for me. But that is their reality. Like, I get to go home. I get to clock out.
Yeah.
But that is their life for them. And so I think that was one thing that really stuck with me, because it's like, I didn't grow up in that situation. Like, I had a loving home. Like, my parents did not get divorced. Like, nobody hurt me as a kid.
Mm-hmm.
So I couldn't relate in that way. But I had Jesus.
Yeah.
So I could give him that. Yeah. Within the confines of working for a state agency.
Right.
So you had to be a little careful, which was fine. Because, I mean, you couldn't be like, hey, Jesus loves you, you know. But you could say, I care about you. I'm here to listen.
Yeah. And
then you could turn around and give it to the Lord. So that's what I had to do a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And it was hard. But the Lord put people in my life to help with that.
Yeah.
So I worked there until October of this past year, and I left.
Okay.
Because it was just, my boss was retiring. I liked her. I had a really good work bestie who was probably going to become my new boss, which I didn't have a problem with. I think I would have worked well under her.
Yeah.
But, like, we went on all of our work trips together. And I knew when she became a supervisor, we couldn't do that anymore.
Yeah.
And I was like, and so she was just getting back into her walk with the Lord. And she was going back to church. And I was like, this is going to change our whole work relationship dynamic. And it's not going to be the same. Which was fine. Mm-hmm. I think it would have been okay. But I think also, like, the Lord opened the door for me to leave.
Okay.
Because I was miserable.
Yeah.
Because it's a lot.
I'm sure.
And I say the Lord opened the door because, like, I got confirmation of that, like, from day one, starting a new job. And, like, I was terrified. You know, I'm, like, an anxious person anyway. So I was like, this is going to be a disaster. I'm not going to be any good at this job. Like, I don't know what I'm doing. And I remember I went for my interview and I was super nervous, and I was only in there for 20 minutes. And I knew the lady I was going to work for. I had worked with her at my last job.
Okay.
And I was like, so it was just like us talking. And I felt comfortable. Like, I felt at peace when I left. I was like, if it works out, great. If not, great. And they called me that afternoon after I left and offered me the job. Okay. And I was like, okay. And I remember me and Zach were sitting on the couch, and I told him what they had offered me, and he goes, if you don't take that, you're crazy.
Yeah.
And Zach has always been the voice of, like, I don't want to say reason, that's not the best word, but he's like the logical one.
Okay.
And he's like, if you don't do that, you're dumb. And, like, I need somebody to tell me that every once in a while.
I think we all do.
Yeah. And, but that's what he said. He was like, if you don't take that, you're crazy.
Yeah.
And so I did. And it's been really good. And I still get to help people.
Good.
And, like, that's my thing. Like, I wanted to help people. And then in November, and I took a pay cut.
Okay.
That's important to note. I took a substantial pay cut to leave my old job. And so that was kind of also, like, something, because I think a lot of people, like, you don't want to, like, again, we have things we don't want to give to the Lord. And, like, for me, I was like, I don't want to give my finances to the Lord because, like, we're doing really good. And I was like, and I don't say that, like, in a bragging way. I mean, like, I was making more money than I never made in my whole life. And, like, I wasn't making, like, $1 million.
Right.
But, like, enough to have what I needed and extra. And so, like, taking a pay cut was gonna change things.
Yeah.
And I remember, like Zach said, he was like, I was like, can we make it on that? And he was like, didn't you ask the Lord for a different job? And I was like, all right, yeah. I'm like, yeah, you're right. And it was a little hard. Like, when I left my old job, I got 2 paychecks after I left, and then I got, like, they paid out what sick leave I didn't use. So that was, like, a nice big check right before Christmas.
Yeah.
And then, I'm 6 months in now, and I feel the pay cut. So I have to lean on the Lord for stuff. Like, I think it was a way for me to be like, okay, Lord, I was, like, resistant to letting you have these things. But now I have to give it to the Lord. Because the Lord gave me something else to do.
Yeah.
And that requires my finances.
Okay. Let's talk about that.
So in November, as we know, people didn't get their food stamps. And I know a lot of people are going to be like, well, people use food stamps, people abuse the system. And there are people that do that, okay? I don't care. All right? That's not on me. All right? The Lord didn't give it to me to be like who deserves it or not. But, like, there's a lot of people I know that, like, if they didn't have food stamps, their kids wouldn't eat.
Yeah.
And they work. And their spouse works. But, like, I wish we could all remember it's really hard to live in the world. Like, like, things happen. Like, your car breaks down, you lose your job, whatever. And so people weren't getting their food stamps. And I was aggravated about it. For my own personal reasons. But I was also aggravated because I was like, shouldn't the church be doing something about it? Shouldn't we be helping people in some way? And the Lord goes, all right, wear it out. And I was like, well, gosh, what am I going to do? I'm just me. Like, I'm just one person. And so the Lord gave me Terry.
Yeah.
And I just casually said to her one day at church, I was like, hey, what do you think about, like, us feeding people? Like, and she goes, I'm so glad you said that, Emily. And, like, a weight lifted off my chest.
Yeah.
I was like, gosh, the Lord told her to. And so not only did the Lord tell Terry, he told my mom, and then he told Susan, and then he told Jackie. So, like, if the Lord tells you to do something that's going to require help, he's usually also going to tell your help. So, he told Terry, and I told Terry first, and I was like, we got to do something for people. Like, there's people in our community that are going to be hungry. And, like, shouldn't we care about that? And, because, like, the Lord says, feed the hungry, give drink to the thirsty, take care of the poor. And I was like, I can't sit with that verse and not do anything. And I was like, but what can we do? So we did a food pantry in November. Okay. We did it once in November. And, like, I didn't have any other way to get the word out but to post it on Facebook. So that's what I did.
Yep.
And I put it on Facebook, and all these people showed up. And, like, it wasn't a great deal of people. Like, I'm not talking, like, hundreds of people. Like, I'm talking probably 50 people.
Okay.
And we just let people take what they needed. And we had meals. Like, we had a whole meal in a Ziploc bag.
How's that work?
So, everything you need to make the meals in the bag. And the idea was to do everything non-perishable in case people were, like, homeless or didn't have a way to, like, store something long-term.
Yep.
So, like, canned meat or, like, canned chili.
What all's in a bag? Like, if I were to prepare a bag for you, what would I put in that bag?
So, we have a bunch of different recipes that we use, but one of them is, like, chili mac, and it's, like, a deluxe mac and cheese box, a can of chili, and a can of Rotel.
Okay.
And then there's a recipe in the bag, and then we put a track in all the bags.
Yeah.
So, and, like, those women, we do that.
Okay.
And now we do it twice a month.
How many people do you think you feed? How many meals would you say you probably give out?
I think the first 2 times we did it, we probably gave out over 100 meals.
Yeah.
And so we usually have about 70, anywhere from like 50 to 75 meals a time.
Okay.
And then we usually don't have leftovers. Every once in a while, like, if there's other food pantries going on in town, we'll have a couple leftovers. Right. But like 5 meals left over.
Okay. So what do you need? Do you need more meals? Do you need more people?
I don't know what we need. Right now, every time that we do this, the Lord provides for our needs.
Yeah.
So, like, I never know. Like, people ask me that all the time. They're like, Emily, what do you need? And I'm like, I don't know. Every time the Lord provides somebody.
Yeah.
So, like, we've had people who donate. I know he would hate me saying this, but, like, Arnold at our church, he will buy, like, a flat of canned vegetables, like a flat of corn or a flat of mixed vegetables. So we will use that in a meal.
Okay.
And then if we have extras of those, we'll put them out. We have an extra table.
Yeah.
And people can just take what they need. So now that we have a lot of people that come, like, we have a lot of people that come every time. And so we do 2 meals per family. And then we have a big extras table where people can just take whatever they need. And we've gotten a lot of donations for the extras table, like loaves of bread.
Yeah.
Like chips. And, like, that was one thing that stood out to me. Because we did a lot of research about this before we figured out what to do. And, like, a lot of people, like, they can't afford to buy snacks for their kids for lunch.
Yeah.
And, like, they're expensive. I got a husband. He works blue collar. We buy Little Debbie cakes.
Yeah.
They're high. And my best friend, her father-in-law works for Little Debbie. I brought home 20 cases of Little Debbie cakes for free. Because he was like, we can't sell them at the store because they're past the expiration date. But they're, like, they had run out in January. And I picked them up at the end of February.
Yeah.
So, like, whatever it is, like, the Lord just puts it there. Like, he just drops it in front of you.
So if people want to support you, how can they do that? If people want to give financially? Because it does take money. I know you don't want to talk about it, but it takes money.
It does take money.
Yeah.
And it is hard. And I think you have to remember the lady in the Bible who gave all that she had to the Lord.
Okay.
And so if people want to give, they're more than welcome to do that.
Okay.
And you can contact me. I've got Cashapp, I've got Venmo, I've got PayPal, I got it all.
Okay.
Or you can put a check in my hand. I don't care.
Okay.
But what we need most is people to pray about it. Like, pray that we're able to continue doing this and that we are able to help somebody that might not know Jesus. So, like, we did it last week on Thursday. The Thursday before, we do it every 2 weeks.
Okay.
I felt really convicted that we were supposed to be praying for these people. Because, like, there's a lady that comes every time, and she's so nice. And I invited her to church, but she hasn't come yet. Mm-hmm. And she's so nice. And I'm like, gosh, I wish she would come to church. But, like, I don't want to just get people to come to church. Like, I want to get people to know Jesus. And, like, part of that has to start before they come to church. Because, like, they might not feel comfortable doing that. Yeah. And that's okay. And so I really felt convicted about, like, we're not doing enough to share about Jesus while we're here. So we started praying. So we moved our time to 6:30 so that we could all get there. So everybody that comes a little early. And they stand out on the porch of the fellowship hall. And so I went out there and I was like, if you guys don't mind, I'm going to pray for you all.
Yeah.
Which is really nerve-wracking for me because I hate praying in front of people.
Right.
But, like, you pray to the Lord. Like, you pray to the creator of the whole world and you're afraid to pray in front of other people.
You got a point.
Yeah. So I was like, all right, we're just going to get over it.
How'd that go? How'd it go over?
It went good. Yeah. And I told them, I was like, listen, we're doing this because we love the Lord. And the Lord commanded us to do this because he commanded us to love the people in our community.
Got to.
And I was like, you guys are our community. And I might not need food this month, but I might not be able to say that a year from now. You know?
Never know.
No. And, like, the point is not to make people feel bad because they need help. The point is just to help people.
Love them. Yeah. Show them love. Show them Jesus.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so, we all prayed. And that lady that I had invited to church, she came up to me and she said, Emily, I really needed to hear that. Thank you. Because I want them to know that, like, if there's nobody else that they feel like cares about them, these women at this church with this ministry, we care.
Yeah.
And we want to know, like, if your kids are sick. We want to know, like, if you're hurt at work or, like, you're struggling some other way. We want to know. We want to pray for you. And, like, we're going to feed you in the meantime. So, that was really helpful for me. But I think the most helpful thing has been the fellowship with the other people that we're doing this with.
Okay.
Like, I knew Terry before we started doing this. And I love Terry. I love your whole family. But, like, Terry's awesome.
Yeah.
And Susan is awesome. And Jackie, I never would have known Jackie had we not started doing this.
Okay.
And, like, it's such a good group of people to do this with because, like, I leave there and I feel refreshed.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like I've spent time with other women who want the same things I want and who, like, are just pouring into me. And then we get to pour into other people. And,
Iron
like,
sharpeneth iron.
Yeah. And we wouldn't have had that otherwise.
So
And
you think it's probably a good idea for somebody to start a ministry if they're thinking about it?
I think so. And I think, like, it doesn't have to be anything crazy. And you don't have to start your own. You might just can plug in somewhere else. Like, I'm sure every ministry would take another person.
Yeah.
But, like, it's just been so helpful to me because, like Brother Dave said in his message, like, I get to Wednesday night and I'm like, all right, Lord, I got to keep the sin light this week because we got food pantry and I got to be there for people. And, like, now, every night before I go to bed, I read my Bible.
Yeah.
I didn't do that before, like, before we started doing this. But I have to now because I got to stay on my toes. And I'm like, I got to be where the Lord needs me to be so I can help people.
Yeah.
So I can help people for Jesus. So, you just have to find where the Lord wants you to be. And, like, sometimes He'll just tell you. Like, sometimes He'll just, it'll be clear and obvious. But sometimes He wants you to look.
Yeah.
Like, sometimes He wants you to seek after Him. Like, the Lord chased us down when He saved us. But, like, did we get to a point in life where we're chasing the Lord?
That's good.
I don't know. I don't know that we all get there, but I hope we do.
Right. I mean, I don't know. Try to look for God everywhere.
Yeah.
But there comes an action with that.
Mm-hmm.
If you're not sharp on the Word, and the Word is God, it's kind of hard to see the Word. It's kind of hard to see God if you're not familiar with it, if you're not listening for God, or, you know what I mean?
Yeah, and if you don't know, like He says in the Bible, like, I am the shepherd and the sheep know my voice.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't spend any time with the shepherd, you don't know what his voice sounds like.
You're right. If it's cool, I'm going to read something.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Believe it or not, I read this when I was fishing the other day. Said I was. Okay. Matthew 4:4. He answered them and said, this is Jesus' words in red. It is written, man shall not live by bread alone, but by every word that proceedeth out of the mouth of God. Okay. So you read that, and my first thought was, the Bible. That's the word. It's God's words. But then, think about it. Man shall not live by bread alone, but by every word that proceedeth out of the mouth of God.
Mm-hmm.
That's words that He speaks just to me.
Mm-hmm.
Words that He speaks just to you.
Mm-hmm.
I think your testimony is a testament of that verse.
Yeah, and I think He also is saying, like, don't neglect your time to commune with the Lord, but also don't neglect your time to commune with other believers.
Yep.
Like, the Lord commands us not to, this verse unnerves me sometimes, because sometimes I'm human and I don't feel like getting up and going to church.
Right.
But the Lord says, forsake not the assembling of yourselves together.
Right.
And I think there's a reason there, because, like, you're not supposed to do it by yourself.
Yeah.
It's not supposed to just be you. Like, you and the Lord. And then the Lord's going to give you these other people to help you.
Yeah.
And I think that is where I'm at now in this season of life, is like, the Lord has given me these other people to help me.
Mm-hmm.
And it's helped me. It's not just to help me serve the Lord. It's also just to help me. Like, I'm a person. I get worn down. I get tired.
Yeah.
But I have these other women that we're doing this with that the Lord gave me, so that when I get tired, there's somebody else there that can help.
Yeah.
It's not just help in the ministry. It's help in your life. It's help they keep you pointed in the right direction. And I think that's really important. That's something that I had missed a lot prior.
Speaking of people God gave you that are a help, He gave you a husband too.
Mm-hmm, He did.
And I messaged him and I said, hey man, it looks like I'll be doing a podcast with your wife tomorrow. What's something you wish more people knew about your wife?
Oh, Lord.
He said, how great she is and how crazy she got to be married to me. What a man. Look at him being humble.
He is. And he would never brag on himself. I will brag on him.
Yeah.
Because I think where would my life have ended up if I just ignored him? Like if I had just been like, whatever. Because I met Zach not long after I broke up with the guy that I was not supposed to marry.
Right.
Like that was in April. I met Zach in July.
Yeah.
And I didn't want to meet anybody. Like I had at that point given it to the Lord. I was like, okay, Lord, like whenever you're ready, I'll like look for somebody. But like it's not up to me to look. I'm the woman. And that was something hard for me too, because that's like opposite of what society tells you.
Right.
But like as a woman, you're supposed to wait for the man of God to find you. And it was also, he who finds a wife finds a good thing. You're supposed to be ready to be somebody's wife for them to find you. And I was out here being crazy.
I got you.
So it was like, you had to, like, check yourself before you wreck yourself. Yeah. It was like, okay, you got to check and see, like, are you willing to serve another person? Because you're supposed to, I didn't write it, but it's in there.
Yeah.
Wives, submit yourself to your own husband.
Yeah.
Like, are you ready to serve another person?
Were you?
No.
Oh, okay.
No. Are you ready to let them lead?
Were you?
No.
Okay.
No. And are you ready to be committed to that person till you die?
What changed your mind? What changed your heart?
Well, I started reading the Bible.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't argue with the Lord. He wrote it down.
Right.
So you just have to say, okay, Lord, this is not what I want to do. I don't want to follow this book. My flesh don't want to do that.
You got to be honest about it.
Yeah. Yeah, you just have to get to the point where you're like, okay, Lord, like, this is where we're at.
Yeah.
And
like, I want the outcome of God's will. Because that's always better.
Yeah.
But then,
I don't want to do it.
The action of, putting my time, my everything into the Bible, into God to get the outcome, that's the part
that people get uncomfortable with.
I don't want to. I don't want to. I want to.
Right.
Yeah.
And then that's what I wanted. I was like, Lord, I want to be married. I always want. You know how people are like, I can't wait to be a mother. I couldn't wait to get married and have kids. I couldn't wait to get married.
Yeah.
I couldn't wait to be somebody's wife.
Mm-hmm.
And the Lord was like, are you going to be a good one, though? Like, where you're at right then in that season. He was like, are you going to be a good wife? No. I didn't know what I was doing. I still don't know what I'm doing. I'm just figuring it out.
Right.
But, like you said, like, I wanted this thing that the Lord had said, like, He ordained marriage. He ordained it to be beautiful and to be something that's glorifying to Him.
Yep.
But, like, did I want what it took to get there? No. Yeah. Do you have to do the steps necessary to get the outcome? Yeah, because, like, that's the whole point. Like, the whole point is for you to align your life and your heart with what the Lord would have you to do. And, like, it's really uncomfortable.
Seek ye first the kingdom.
Mm-hmm.
And all these things
will be added to you.
Yeah.
But it's like, the seeking the kingdom is the hard part, because the seeking the kingdom goes against your flesh.
Yeah, everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so, like, every fiber in your being is like, this is awful.
You got to retrain it.
And you have to let the Spirit lead.
Yeah.
Like, when you get saved, the Spirit of the Lord comes and lives in you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? Like, He's here. He's in here. All I have to do is let Him be in charge. And I think a lot of people get tore up about wives submitting to your own husbands. But, like, all that means is, like, you're being respectful of your husband. You're telling him, like, I've made this commitment to you in front of God and everybody. Mm-hmm. And I did. Like, and fun fact, Nathan married us.
No kidding.
Yeah. And so, like, I've made this commitment in front of God and everybody. Mm-hmm. And most of all, I made it to the Lord. Like, I took a vow in front of the Lord, and I said, I'm going to love, honor, and cherish this person until I die. And you have to do that every day.
So what did you have to do to get ready? Read your Bible?
I had to read my Bible.
Yep.
I had to pray about it. Because, like, and I had some really good friends. Like, my best friend is the best woman that I know.
Yeah.
And she told me, she was like, Emily, whatever you walk through, I'm going to walk through it with you. And she did. And she still is. Like, she's having a baby now. And we're in different seasons of life. But, like, she's my village and I'm hers.
Yeah.
And so she sharpened me a lot. And my mom did too. My mom told me the other day, she was like, you have to make a choice in your marriage to be in your marriage all the time. You have to make the choice, like, consciously. And you have to decide, this is my person. Mm-hmm. And this is my only person. And I think a lot of people forget that. Like, don't you think that the Lord gave you that person?
Yeah.
Because I see a lot of people post that, and they're like, the Lord brought this person into my life. Treat them like that. Treat them like the Lord put them here, right here next to you. And treat them like they are a gift from the Lord. And I think people forget that. Because it's easy.
Yeah.
You get aggravated, like somebody didn't take the trash out. Or
life starts laughing.
Yeah, but, like, the Lord gave you this person. And the Lord, there's no doubt in my mind that the Lord gave me Zach. But I think at the same time, like, the Lord gave me to Zach. And He gave Zach to me.
Yeah.
And I don't ever want to do anything that would disrespect Him, because He's my husband, and, like, He's the man that the Lord gave me for the rest of my life. And He's not going to brag about Himself. He's not going to get angry at you. Like, He might get angry at you, but you're not going to know. And He's not going to be hateful to you. And He's not going to leave your side. Like, He is faithful and He is loyal.
Yeah. And
He's just the calm and the chaos. Like, it's chaotic being married to me, I'm sure. But, like, Zach's just like, okay, whatever.
He seems real calm.
Yeah, he's really
cool.
chill.
I love that guy.
Yeah,
I don't
me
think
too.
I've seen him outside of church, but when I see him, I love that guy. I feel like the Zach I'm seeing Sunday morning is the same Zach Monday through Saturday night, you know?
Well, so, I mean, sometimes, like, he does get aggravated every once in a while, but,
right.
like,
I mean,
you would never know. Like,
yeah.
He's very good at, like, just water off a duck's back.
Yeah.
And I'm very not. Like, he gets rained on and it's like water off a duck, and I get rained on and I'm sitting in a mud hole. Like, I'm like a pig and I'm wallowing in it, and he's like, you know, he's like, we just gotta go on. Like, there's nothing we can do about it, you know?
I like that. Water off a duck's back and a pig in a mud hole.
Yeah.
I like it. All right. Well, we've covered your childhood, your teenage years, time in Africa, and what you're up to now. And when it comes to your ministry, if it's cool with you, after you leave here, I want you to text me your Cashapp, your Venmo, your PayPal. I want to put it in the description of this video so people can support you if they choose to, okay?
Okay.
All right, cool. Well, thank you for coming on.
You're welcome.
Thank you for being the first woman guest we've had.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, by popular demand. And wish you the best in your ministry.
Thank
We'll be
you.
praying for you. Thank you for coming on.
Absolutely.
Oh, thank you everybody for listening to another episode of Full Story Testimonies. If anybody is interested or knows anybody interested in doing an episode, please send me an email or a message on Facebook, or maybe even just comment down below how I can get a hold of you. Email is fullstorytestimonies@gmail.com. Thank you. Thank you.